Hello, I'm Ted Nichols, and this is Hannah with me. We're from Drums Around the World. I'm from Salisbury University, and I'm going to be your youth camp instructor. We're doing this instead of doing it outside or in a building, we have to do it like this because of what's going on with this pandemic. So, welcome to the Youth Summer Art 2020. This summer, we'll be working with drywall buckets, cardboard boxes. We're simulating drums. Drywall buckets are something that's used all the time in street drumming, and there's even parts in songs written where people play on different instruments. That's been going on forever. So let's talk a little bit about a sample of the instruction you'll get. If you're playing a drywall bucket, you're going to have to use something to hit them. The best thing is drumsticks because they're designed to hit drums. First thing you'll do is about a quarter of the way up, you'll hold this stick. It's held between the thumb and this finger. That's what really holds the stick. The stick should move when you hit the drum, so it comes off of the drum. Right now I'm hitting in the center of the drum. That gives us a center sound. The rim is right here. So that gives you that sound, so you can put those two together. You might do a cymbal part here, and then add your snare. And we'll talk about doing this. You can move that to the side. Now I'm using 3 sounds now. We'll talk about all those kind of things. You can even go. You can add sticks. You can add another drum to the side. Play on 2 drums if you want. That's kind of what we'll do there. You'll learn the basic rhythms. We'll talk about that when we pull up the cardboard boxes to talk about djembes. You'll learn the basic rhythm that holds together all of drumming, no matter what country you're from. Rhythm has a scientific method of how it works. So it works no matter what you're playing. Some people have written it down. Other people don't do it by reading. Actually, even when you look at classical music, you have to understand who wrote it, the time that it was written to play it correctly. You can't always write down the feel of something. So there's basically these drums. We also will do something like some songs to play along with. I'll record these every week. You'll be able to get to them the day of the lesson or maybe a little bit before. You'll work on them during the week. We'll play them. I'll do another recording, and then we'll talk from there. So we'll try to stay ahead, and you'll work on in between what's going on. First lesson, I'll talk a little bit about how to set your system up for recording and watching. I also have that on Google Docs. You'll be able to click on a link and I'll show you some different things if you've got a computer, how to set up. You don't have to do recordings unless you want. So suppose we're going to do that song, We Will Rock You. That's a rock anthem by Queen. I'm going to use the middle of the drum, and then I'll do the first hits 2 on this and then 1 here. So it goes like 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and then you're just doing that song. And then I'll teach you to put some other things in there. So I might change my part to do that cymbal part. And then I might go. And once you've learned the basic patterns of what you do with drumming, all that stuff will work. So let's talk about the other thing we'll be working with, which are conga drum and djembe parts. So we're using cardboard boxes, and Hannah's getting her box ready. So you'll get a box too. I will tape the top of the box to make it to go. So this simulates a conga drum or a djembe, and I will show you the first time Hannah and I will play a song on real drums. Hopefully we'll get down there by the end of the summer, early fall, or middle of the fall to play something with you. So on a djembe, this is the middle of the drum. That becomes your bass drum. On the side of the drum, it's a little different sound. And back and forth. And suppose we're doing parts. So the first thing we'll learn to do, I talked about the rhythm thing. So we'll start in the middle, like not a walking, but just like a 1, 2. And what happens with rhythms is now we're going to think of 2 groups together. So then we're going to walk that and double the time. Then you can change the position. 2 different things. Now we'll go back to quarter notes. 1, and I'll call it a quarter note. It's the bass. Now we're going to switch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. And I'll talk about, on this is not going to make as much of a difference where you put the sound. All right? So we'll play a little bit of a song that we play. I have this. Then you all would answer. I'll do that 3 times, and we do this. And then I go. And I go. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. So we'll work on some of that together. It's a little different for even us. Playing on the boxes is not quite the same. Now you'll have an art project because Africa has lots of cool art. We'll move this stuff around. So Hannah's going to show you something we'll be making. So we're making a rain stick, and you'll notice that when you turn this, it's harder to hear here, but it does go. You'll be using... Yeah, you'll be using lentils. I'll give you enough lentils to fill your buckets, to fill your tubes. At the end of the tube, you have, this is what the tube looks like. Looks like this. This is a mailing tube. I actually did a National Folk Festival the first year, and we did rain sticks. So what will happen is, I'll include some paper. You're going to draw on the paper. This person drew on the paper and drew these designs. I'll show you. You can do your own design. You can pretty much, I'm not worried about what design you use, but if you look behind us, this is an African design here. So you can see how that would work. You'll be equipped with both of this. You'll also get, inside this is tin foil, and it's this long. You scrunch up 3 of them, and you wrap them together in a braid. So if any of you girls probably know how to braid. Guys may not, but I'll teach you, and your mom or somebody, your older people can help you with that. So that's the project we'll work on. We'll also look around that. If you've got spoons, you can do them. I have a frying pan. In Latin America, they walk down the street playing on frying pans. It's kind of like a cowbell. We'll do sambas. We've got a couple of games that we'll be playing. There's lots of fun stuff, and hopefully we'll get together. So you can contact me in the Google Classrooms as soon as we get this all set up. Coming up not too many weeks, I'll try to have a couple of lessons before that happens. So we're signing off now. We'll see you. Drums Around the World. Ted and Hannah will be glad to see you when we get started. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.